obviously, I want to ask you about the report issue today. What do you think it means to the parents and students in St. Louis?
First of all, I'm encouraged by the recommendations in the report that were made by Dr. Danforth, Frankie Freeman, and the other three members of the advisory committee. The school district is in crisis. It's been on a downward spiral now for quite some time. It's not something that happened last week or several months ago or even 4 years ago. It's something that's going on for a number of years. So there really has to be some kind of dramatic change in direction of the district for the benefit of the kids. What I see this is an opportunity to bring some stability to the district, to pull together some consensus in terms of what direction we go in the future, and to start the school district on the road for reform and academic excellence. I think what it should do is bring some hope to the parents as well as all other stakeholders, particularly the kids in the St. Louis Public Schools.
So do you agree with most of the recommendations or all of the recommendations in the
You know, I agree. I wholeheartedly support the report and the recommendations that are in there. I mean, these are very smart, very savvy individuals that come from different backgrounds, and they looked at this very hard, and they really care about kids, and I'm absolutely convinced of that. So I do support them. I'll do everything I can to help implement it in a way that will look out for the best interests of the kids, put the kids first.
One of the chief goals of the committee members, they said, was to implement stability in the district, and part of that is to for 6 years have kind of take the election or the politics out of the board process, and just have a three-person panel oversee probably a superintendent for that 6 years. That means for 6 years the voters won't have a chance to let their voices be known about the direction of the district. Do you think that do you understand how some people might be concerned about that?
Well, there'll still be, as I understand, there still will be a school board that'll be elected by the people in place. Certainly, the influence of the power of that board will be limited significantly. It will still have, as I understand, an audit function and a public comment function, so that there will be a school board elected by the people who can make comment and can audit what's going on. So it has not completely removed this from local influence and the voters completely. But what's happened in the past has not worked. What's going on right now is not working. This governance model has failed the kids for far too long. I think it's time, and this committee has found that, to do something different, and that's what this is all about.
Part of the reason behind this, again, dealing with the instability issue, it has been the change in leadership. It seems like every few months, almost, in St. Louis Public Schools over the last 3 or 4 years. Part of that started in 2003 elections, when the new school board came into power. That school board majority went through four superintendents in 3 years. Do you think that was a mistake in hindsight for that board to do that, and is that what's led us to this point, or what's led us to this point recently?
Well, the problems with the school district, as I said, did not start last week, did not start several months ago, and did not start 4 years ago. The district has been in a downward spiral for decades. We have lost generations of kids, not just one generation of kids, but generations of kids. This didn't start overnight. It didn't happen within the last few years. What happened back then is something that was created by the crisis that this district presented. It had a huge financial crisis. They're still not out of that, which caused the school board to have to address all these financial issues that really kind of overshadowed and I think even disrupted the smooth operation of the district. But this district had been in problem for a long time. This wasn't created yesterday. It's going to take a long time to get out of it. So I think that the decisions that were made to help address the financial were necessary. The financial problems were necessary. Certainly created a lot of controversy, a lot of disruption within the district. But you know, I think, as I said, this is stuff that the problems of this district did not start yesterday or 4 years ago. This has been happening and started a long time ago.
Some of those tough choices that the old school board made. Most recently, the two board members, Archibald and Jackson, have said that that the district will still have to make more tough choices to deal with the current financial crisis. If this report's recommendations are implemented and those tough decisions are made by what could be seen as the state, do you think that invites even more turmoil in the city and in the district when someone's school is closed in their neighborhood and they don't really have recourse?
Well, here's what. First of all, the board members that are going to be on there, I think only one's going to be appointed by the governor, if that is what happens ultimately. One will be appointed, as I understand, by me, and one by the president of the Board of Aldermen. And what this recommendation was that we all get together and try to agree upon who those individuals are going to be. There will still be a school board in place, a local one, that will have audit and public comment ability. And so I think that there's some local effort. They also encourage, in the report, community engagement and involvement in decisions that are made in the future. Now, I will tell you that there's going to be some tough decisions that are going to have to continue to be made, and there's going to be opponents. There are those out there who really are trying to promote the status quo. And let me tell you what the status quo is right now. 90% of 7th graders cannot read at their grade level. 90% of them. So when those kids go to high school, I mean, how do they advance? And what's going to make them want to go to school when they can't keep up with the curriculum that's provided to them? We have 3,000 kids in the St. Louis Public School that start high school. Of them, 50 to 60% of them may graduate. Of the numbers that ultimately graduate, only about 200 score average or above on the ACT test. Those are unacceptable results. Now, there are those who are going to like the status quo, but because for whatever personal reason they may have. But ultimately, if you're really looking out for the best interest of the kids, things have to change. If they have too many school buildings they're spending money on, where that money could be used in the classroom, then they ought to make the tough decisions necessary to make sure that money goes in the classroom. The reality is this district is losing enrollment dramatically. They're losing dramatically, and charter schools are going up in terms of enrollment. So people are choosing in the voluntary interdistrict transfer program. We've got about 8,000 students in there, so there are a lot of parents choosing other alternatives than the traditional public education in the city. As long as that continues, and that system's failing these kids, somebody's got to be thinking about what we need to do different. So, frankly, a few years ago, when they were making all these tough decisions, they made decisions, to try to look out for the best interest of the kids. There were many people that were opposing those efforts. It's because they may have had some other agenda in place. They were looking out for the adult issues, whether they're trying to protect the bureaucracy, protect jobs, or union issues, or whatever there might be. But ultimately, what they were able to do was put the district in better financial condition, although it wasn't completely out of the woods in that regard, bring what I thought, and a lot of people, many people thought, was a very quality superintendent, Dr. Craig Williams. And he put together a plan, an aggressive plan to improve academic excellence in the district. He was starting to get the confidence of a broad base of people within the city of St. Louis, and then within one election, boom, the momentum stopped. He was let go, and I think the more problems ensued as a result. But the fact is, these issues did not happen recently.
All right, last question. fixing urban school districts is not, a question that St. Louis alone has to answer, and it's not easy. Even if you were able to take politics out of the equation, which I think these recommendations are trying to do, what if 2 years from now, 4 years from now, or at the end of the 6-year experiment, the district still isn't succeeding? The district still has a outrageous dropout percentage. We still aren't sending a fair number of kids to college afterwards. What then?
Well, first of all, I think everyone involved in this ought to make sure that doesn't happen. Teachers, parents, administrators, citizens of this city need to get more engaged, whether you have kids in the district or you don't have kids in the district. And if we do that, that will not happen. But this is going to be a long-term play. This isn't something that's going to be changed overnight. What hopefully will end up happening was that they will put this district back on the road to stability and reform, continue the reform effort, and a road towards academic excellence. And then ultimately, hopefully within 6 years, maybe a little longer, it'll be returned back to the people of St. Louis, the voters of St. Louis, in terms of the operation of the school district. In other words, bring it back to local control after that. But if everybody is in there for all the right reasons and putting kids first, what you suggested isn't going to happen. This district will do much better if we all put our minds to it and put the kids first.